If you work in water treatment, if you rent water dispensers, water purifiers, and serve end customers, this video will be very important for you, because today I want to take you behind the scenes at one of the most important events of one of our clients. This client of ours essentially distributes water dispensers to other distributors and end users, and organizes a marketing event, a very special promotional event. I want to thank the CEO of this company for giving us the opportunity, first of all, to attend this event and then to film the behind the scenes of this invitation. Why? Because this way you can get a lot of ideas if you rent out water dispensers to end customers or if you work in water treatment. Seeing the behind the scenes of a company in the industry, obviously a highly structured one, can help you pick up a lot of insights, a lot of things you wouldn't have seen otherwise. So I'm taking you with me on this journey. Gianluca, the video maker, and Marcello will also be joining us, and they have something to say as well. We'll go into all the details of this event behind the scenes for the first time exclusively. Follow me. So first of all, you might be wondering, which company is this? This company is called SERVOMAT, more precisely Rea Vendors SERVOMAT, because SERVOMAT is essentially the German branch of this large Italian group, Rea Vendors. And what do? Mainly, they build everything related to coffee machines and some vending machines. And they've been doing this for many, many years now. But what happened? Lately, the vending sector and the coffee sector have gone through a bit of a crisis because as you can read in many industry magazines and from a lot of data you can easily find online, the price of coffee has gone up, the price of raw materials has gone up, and so have a lot of other prices, including food. So vending itself, which sells snacks and cold drinks, well, everything has gone up, and so have the prices, but at the same time, profit margins have shrunk. So what did this company decide to do? They decided to preserve those margins, to save those sales by introducing a new category of products that are actually quite different, because we're talking about chilled and filtered water, but in reality, as you'll discover in a few minutes, they're the perfect match for coffee machines. So they decided to introduce this new range of products and, on the one hand, open up a completely new market. But in reality, as you'll see, and I'll show you why, they've also strengthened their current market. And so that's the reason why a company that started out making coffee machines and vending machines has entered the water dispenser sector. Okay, but first let's find out how they're organized, so how this company is structured. Well, let's say they don't sell or rent water dispensers directly to the end user. Instead, they have other distributors or companies that in turn deal with the distributor channel with the end user. So let's say they are themselves distributors, but what's really interesting is how they're organized, and we'll take a look at that in terms of services, because they really don't leave anything to chance. They don't just offer water dispensers, but actually provide a complete turnkey service that allows any distributor or any water treatment operator to have not only the product, but also the system to maintain it, the system to sell it, the system to manage it, and always the right support. So that's why I want to take you with me on this adventure, because it's not easy to go behind the scenes of these companies. And I want to give you this opportunity, let's say exclusively. Another very interesting thing is that you might actually think, yes, but if they sell coffee machines, it's like they're selling something completely different, right? By selling water dispensers. Instead, it has turned out after years of collaboration that coffee machines and water dispensers actually create a perfect synergy with each other, because the water dispensers help this company sell their coffee machines. For example, when they go to offer water dispensers in offices or in public spaces, well, it's much easier for them to then offer the complete package. So they attract the customer with the water, because at that moment the customer is looking for everything related to water. But then it's easy for their salespeople, vendors, and sales agents to also offer the coffee machine package. So just imagine what effect this has on profits. Imagine what effect it has on sales and also on the customer acquisition cost. Because obviously the average spend per customer increases, and so they are able to recover the cost of leads and appointment setting much more quickly. And the same thing happens the other way around, because all the customers who are interested in coffee can automatically be, let's say, targeted. They can be perfect customers to whom you can offer water dispensers so that you provide the whole water system to those who already have the coffee machines, the coffee system. So these two types of products, in reality, even though they are so different, actually complement each other. And I want you to notice this too, because it could be useful for you as well. Maybe you already offer water dispensers in your product range, but you don't have coffee, or you have other products related to water like water softeners or similar products. Think about how you can create a synergy. Think about how you can make one product leverage the other and vice versa, so that first you increase your customers' average spending, recover your advertising costs more quickly, and in the end, close more rental contracts with less effort because you won't need more customers. Basically, with fewer customers, you can significantly increase your sales. Okay, now as we cross Switzerland, I want to explain to you why this event we're going to attend is so strategic and how you can also take inspiration from it. So let me take a step back and explain where we're heading right now. We're obviously heading to this company that has organized a 3-day event at their premises. Basically, they've organized a 3-day fair, a real proper fair. Hold on, let me lower the speed limit, otherwise I'll get a ticket while I'm making this video for you. They've successfully organized a truly comprehensive fair right inside their own company, where they've thoughtfully invited various important clients, specifically existing clients, current clients, and even promising potential clients, where they effectively present their diverse products, exciting new developments, and so on. But why is this such a strategic move for them? Because it leverages one of the best principles of marketing, which is often described as selling through a funnel. In other words, at regular trade shows, which you might also attend, the ones for end users and so on, you have lots of booths in one place, so there are many of your competitors, many brands. So if you consider the time a customer spends at each booth, basically the time they spend at the fair gets divided among all the brands, and in the end, they only have a few minutes for each brand. Instead, in this way, they manage to isolate themselves from all the competition, because the only brand their customers can see is their own. So these customers spend entire days discovering all the benefits of just one brand. But the benefits don't stop there, because there are also advantages in terms of marketing. Imagine these customers going to visit this private fair. Basically, they have a high level of affinity. So this means that for the salespeople of the company we're visiting, it's much easier, let's say, to lead customers to make a purchase, to sign contracts and so on, because these are customers who are much more on target. But the real point I want to bring to light here is what I mentioned earlier about the fact that they are isolated from the competition. There are no distractions. That is, the customer who goes there can only see their brand, can only talk about their products. And furthermore, it's also strategic for them. In this case, they distribute water dispensers to other distributors because they can, in a certain sense, showcase the capabilities of their facility. So they can address one of the doubts a customer might have, which is, okay, you provide me with these water dispensers, but are you actually able to support me with after-sales service, spare parts, logistics, and all those things? If potential clients or even current clients go to visit the company, they also get a concrete sense of the company's actual structure. They can see that it's not just some newcomer, and so from that perspective as well, they can feel reassured. So just imagine excellent products combined, enhanced with an outstanding structure. Well, the conversion rates of clients who come to visit will definitely be much higher compared to the usual trade shows, the traditional fairs where everyone tries to shout louder than the next person to fight for attention, which is increasingly hard to get these days. Now, I know what you might be thinking right now. You might be thinking, Fabio, but they're a big company, they've been around for hundreds of years, they have lots of resources and so on and so forth. And so you're already starting to come up with excuses not to take inspiration from this video. Instead, I want to encourage you and push you to realize that the right mindset in these situations isn't to compare yourself to others or your company to theirs and so on, but rather to ask yourself, how can I apply this too? because this is their strategy. Yes, they're a big company, that's true, but in the end they're applying concepts and principles that are valid in many different forms. So we've just talked about this concept of selling through a funnel, of isolating yourself from the competition. If you have a showroom, if you have a store or a physical location, well, why not try doing something like this? You'd still be in a great position because you'd be able to isolate yourself from the competition in exactly the same way. Just as if you participate in trade shows among all the others, there are ways you can set yourself apart by how you design your booth, okay? Maybe you can design a booth that has a private area, let's call it that, where you can showcase some new products and separate yourself from the competition. So now we're just at the beginning and you still have a lot to discover on this journey with me. It's important that you start changing your mindset right now and stop thinking that they're big so they can do everything, but instead ask yourself, how can I do it too? How can I take inspiration and apply it myself as well? If you agree with this, then we can continue the journey. If not, then this video is probably not for you anymore. By the way, another benefit of this event, and here's another tip that might be useful for you, is that the entire event will be filmed, okay? So there will be a video maker recording the whole event, and you might ask, but why is that important? It's important because from these videos, they can then create a lot of videos, a lot of content that online, of course, they can publish on social media, on their website, and all these online platforms, and this content gives them visibility. This is content that shows they are an active company, a busy company, a sought-after company, a relevant company, okay? So these are all extremely important marketing material. And that's why I also suggest to you to start using video more as a communication tool for your water dispensers to reach your customers, whether they are end customers or other water treatment operators. Okay, but start using videos as a communication tool because today they are more and more powerful. And do you want to know what's even better? The video maker who will be filming this event is right here in the car with me. And there's more. And he's ready right now, live as we drive, to give you some quick tips that you can take for yourself and share with your marketing team or whoever manages your social media. He'll give you some quick tips on how to make videos that highlight water dispensers, so how to create videos that draw attention to water dispensers and everything related to the world of water treatment. This way you'll be able to communicate with your clients more directly and clearly, whether they're end customers renting your systems or other water treatment professionals who might in turn distribute them. So now I'll hand it over to Gianluca, who is the official video maker for Onnwater. He knows how to make videos that grab attention. After all, if you're watching this video right now, it's thanks to him. So grab a pen and paper because these tips are going to be extremely valuable.
Thank you, Fabio, for the introduction. Today I'm here to walk you through some key points to help you better capture the attention of viewers in your videos about water purifiers. Let's take a look at these points, analyzing them one by one. Point number one, which is fundamental. Keep a fast pace in your video editing, so in the post-production phase, by using stock footage or transitions every 3 to 5 seconds or so. This is very important because it helps keep the viewer's attention high throughout the video. However, it's just as essential that the stock footage and videos you use and download from websites come with a proper license, so make sure you get them from sites that allow you to use those videos for free or through a paid platform that provides you with these videos. As a result, avoid using stock footage if you are not certain about its source. Another absolutely crucial key point to consider here is to meticulously choose stock footage that is exceptionally relevant to the specific topic being thoroughly discussed, so that you can seamlessly overlay it onto the person who is speaking. Transitions are also very important and indeed crucial because they add dynamic movement and visual flow to the video, and this is something absolutely essential to keep in mind during the entire editing phase. And here as well, let's remember that when we add transitions, it's a good idea to also change the background locations. This should be done during filming, so change the backgrounds behind you, switch up the rooms so that you can offer viewers a greater variety of backgrounds and make it easier for them to engage with the video. So the main idea of this point is to use cuts, transitions, and stock footage to ensure that every so often there's something that grabs the viewer's attention. Alright, having covered point one, let's move on to point two, while Fabio is refueling his car. The idea here is not to focus on perfection. Don't be obsessed with perfection or with hitting every single point on the outline you've prepared or with making an edit that's perfect down to the millimeter. Of course it's important, and if you have the time, go for it. But it's more important to invest in how you do things, in the authenticity of how you convey your message, rather than in making everything perfect. In a world where today we are surrounded by artificial intelligence every day, it's important to maintain a human connection, just like us, making this video, and like you, watching this video. So it's always important to have a face-to-face relationship, a direct connection, a truly human relationship between individuals. So let's maybe set aside cinematic perfection, advertising perfection, and focus more on what is important to convey and how we convey it, rather than making it 100% perfect. Now let's move on to point number 3, which is to always put a product in the foreground next to the person speaking. Why is that? Mainly for 2 reasons. The first reason is that people associate images before words, so we give them a solid reference to follow. The second reason is to allow the viewer to shift their gaze from the person speaking to the subject of the video, in this case, the water purifier. Why is that? Because it helps keep the viewer's attention on the video for longer. So despite our cuts, our transitions in the video, our stock footage, this element can help the viewer stay focused even more. In conclusion, Fabio, what do you say if we give the viewers a 4th tip as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Great. So the 4th crucial point I really want to emphatically mention is to consistently keep the lighting very strong and powerfully illuminating, even on bright, sunny days if at all possible. Therefore, it is highly recommended to meticulously create your own dedicated and effective lighting setup that you can reliably use on the product for optimal visual presentation. Why is that? Because with natural light, we often don't get enough light, enough illumination to capture all the details of our product, our purifier, our water dispenser. So it's important to have professional equipment if possible, or alternatively, any type of light will do as long as it's directed in the same way. The important thing is to really light up our product well.
So let's thank Gianluca for these tips. If you have a marketing team, if you have someone who handles social media, now you know that videos are a communication tool that is extremely effective in the world of water dispensers. Now let's go back to another comment I wanted to make about this strategy, right? Of the company we're going to visit, of this event, these VIA days. You see, here it's important to highlight another point. Often those who rent water dispensers to end customers, or in general those who work in water treatment, tend to be extremely focused on the product itself as a means of differentiation. So, especially in this sector, there's a competition over who has more liters per minute, who has more of this, more of that, right? And everyone is so worried about the competition having the same products and all these things. Okay, these are factors to consider, but what I want to tell you is that if your only point of differentiation is the product, meaning the water dispenser you have in your catalog, you are extremely vulnerable. You are extremely open to attack from the competition. Why am I telling you this? Because what this company is doing, which you'll see at this event in a moment, is not just having a range of products that are highly differentiated, in this case the Onnwater products, which are extremely different from the mainstream, but on top of that, they use their marketing process and sales process as a point of differentiation. In other words, their competitors don't present water dispensers in this way. Instead, they do it in more traditional ways, in ways that are more similar to each other. But they, by utilizing this exclusive private fair, which is an invitation-only event, a truly elite gathering, not openly accessible to the general public, they also effectively differentiate their entire sales process and significantly emphasize the inherent uniqueness of their exceptional products. Because just think about it for a moment, what are the specific products you are aware of that are presented and offered exclusively by invitation only? Think about it. They're only products that belong to the world of luxury, to the world of exclusivity, right? So they are positioning these water dispensers as a luxury product, a product for the elite, and so it's presented in an exclusive way, let's say. But think about this. First step, you need to have water dispensers in your range that are already highly differentiated from the mainstream, whether it's in terms of features, design, maybe patents, or aesthetics. But the second thing you need to look at is how you're offering them, how you're presenting them to your clients. Are you presenting them in an exclusive, distinctive way, or are you using the exact same channels and presentation methods as your competitors? Think about this because it's extremely important. Also, in my considered opinion, this particular type of event, this truly innovative idea that this forward-thinking company had, is absolutely brilliant from a comprehensive word-of-mouth marketing perspective as well. Because just imagine all the numerous guests who are present at this remarkable occasion. They have a truly great and unique opportunity, let's say, to enthusiastically tell others about this memorable event afterwards, okay? So this company that organized this exclusive fair, this private event, will leverage word of mouth as a marketing tool because everyone will be talking about it. Who doesn't talk about a private fair? And imagine the clients who go there to visit. Of course, they'll be able to share what they experienced during those days because it's not just days where products are presented, right? These are days when many topics related to water dispensers and water treatment are discussed. So these are subjects that can be talked about afterwards. And just imagine what kind of concreteness this gives to the company. There are so many companies in the water treatment sector that you can't even tell if they're real. They're all behind screens, behind keyboards. This sector needs a bit more reality. So I challenge you, if you have a showroom or at least a physical space where you display water dispensers, but even if you don't, rent one, find one, make yourself visible, make yourself tangible, okay? Don't just stay behind the online world, because in the water dispenser market aimed at end customers, there's a lot of skepticism from them. So the more water treatment companies make themselves tangible, the better it is. And what's better than organizing a physical event where you don't just talk about the technical aspects of water dispensers, because that can get a bit boring. But if you add some entertainment elements, things that people can talk about, then you can use word of mouth, not just because you did a good inspection or provided good customer service, which is fine, but also because you organized an event, maybe in the city, maybe in the town. So it's almost like you're getting free advertising. But now I have another surprise for you, because here with me in this car, again, this car is full of people you don't even know about. There's Marcello. Marcello is the advisor for Onnwater, but he's also the official advisor for SERVOMAT. This means he's the one who's on the front lines with them every day, following them through all the details, from technical aspects to commercial matters and everything involved in supporting a company like this. So he has been there since day zero, from the moment this company turned to Onnwater for their water dispenser supply. And so he can give you some details, some insights into how they operate and how you can, so to speak, copy these strategies and apply them in your own field. Whether you work in HoReCa, offices, or with families, so private clients, there are always takeaways to be found in the world of water treatment. So I'll hand it over to Marcello. Once again, have pen and paper ready, because who knows what he might reveal. Maybe something you didn't know and can start applying right away to profit from it, or at least gain some sort of advantage.
Hi, I'm Marcello. I'm an advisor for Onnwater, and as Fabio mentioned, I'm very proud to talk about a company like SERVOMAT because it was one of the very first real clients I followed from the beginning, starting from our first visit in September 2022 at their old headquarters. And by working together almost daily, sometimes even several times a day, with their product manager, David, step by step, we found a whole series of adjustments regarding the products they requested from us. And we managed to start with 3 models with a particularly custom approach. Why was this? Because their need was to find something that could really set them apart from competitors they might encounter on the market, especially when it comes to water purifier. So their products are truly tailor-made, and they have a whole range of features that in their area absolutely set them apart from the competition. This is the daily work that I and their product manager have carried out over all these years. This has led to surprising results, to vertical growth year after year, as surprisingly they have far exceeded the goals we set together. Today we are heading to the 2nd edition of the VA Days, a very special edition, because compared to the first 3 products they introduced in their range, they are now presenting 2 more from the Onnwater line. So we are going to give them further support, because with dedicated workshops, they will present these two new products to all their clients during these days, and these will become part of their new portfolio.
Well, after hearing Marcello's point of view and this story, I want to emphasize that in the end, the common denominator in all of this is differentiation. You can clearly see how a highly successful and innovative company in the specialized field of water treatment has ultimately based its entire strategy, its remarkable success, and its continuous growth on the fundamental principle of being distinctly and uniquely different. Because they have learned a fundamental and important principle. They absolutely do not need to explicitly tell others why they do what everyone else does, only better, but they can instead use completely different and compelling arguments. And so, this is what I want to encourage you to think about with this video. Instead of telling your end customers, communicating to your end customers why you are basically the same as the others, but better, try to find new angles to show where you are unique, where you are different. And it can start from the water dispensers themselves, from the technologies inside them, from the patents they contain, from the aesthetics, the design, the level of customization. Maybe it's something personalized you can offer that others can't. You can also highlight your service. Let's say that every aspect of your work that in some way interacts with the end user can be a differentiating factor you can use in your communication, something you can leverage to your advantage in your messaging. This way, you no longer have to say you're like the others, but better, instead you can say, I have something unique. And the undeniable fact, the compelling proof that this effective strategy truly works is right here, clearly demonstrated in this very video, because you will personally experience it firsthand. You will see with your very own eyes what this remarkable company has meticulously built with their innovative water dispensers, and with a profoundly strong mindset, consistently focused on being distinctly different. Here we are, finally arrived. We are standing in front of the SERVOMAT headquarters here in Germany, and before going in and showing you this special event I've been telling you about, I wanted to give you one last strategic concept that underpins this kind of event. You see, if you rent water dispensers to end customers, or in any case work in water treatment, one of the important things you need to understand is that let's say the percentage, or in any case the likelihood that you will be able to generate new leads, that you will be able to close new contracts with your clients, is directly proportional to the amount of time your clients spend with you or with your company, your showroom, your demonstrations of how the water dispensers work, and so on. So the variable to keep in mind is time. The more time your potential clients dedicate to your company and your products, the more likely they are to eventually buy or sign contracts with you. Let me briefly tell you the story of where this concept comes from. In America, in the 1950s, there were car dealerships, and one of the strategies that is still used today to sell cars is the test drive, where they let you try out the car. Some dealerships said, why don't we build a sort of private track behind the dealership so that customers can do the test drive directly on the track instead of going out into traffic, at stoplights in the city, and so on. Well, when they tried out this strategy, they found that the number of customers who ended up buying the car after doing the test drive on their track was significantly lower than the number of customers who bought the car after doing the test drive in the city in the middle of traffic. Why is that? What was different? Time. Obviously, when you test drive a car, when you try out a car in traffic, you spend a lot of time because there's traffic, of course, and there are the limitations of being in a city. But when you do a lap on a track on a private circuit, there are no limits, so you spend less time in the car, right? So to help you understand where this concept comes from, it's the same with your water dispensers. The more your end customers touch them, try them out, see photos, see images, talk about them, the more time they spend, right? The more likely it is that they'll end up signing a rental or purchase contract with you. And this applies to everyone. Whether you work in Horeca, with families, or in offices, this concept is important. And here inside, we'll see it applied extremely well because they have their clients spend 2 or 3 days here, but they do it in a special way with surprises you would never expect from a company in this sector. So let's go inside and discover them all. Okay, let's venture inside these VA days where you'll discover a ton of things you can also apply to your own water dispenser business. But I'll show you everything in the second video, in the second part of the videos, so stay tuned because the surprises are inside. They're still to come. Wait for the next video and click the bell on the YouTube channel so you'll get a notification as soon as the next video, the most important one, comes out. And subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next video and all the other videos, which might even be, let's say, richer in content than this one.